Hey everyone, welcome to today's podcast. We're talking about how to get back on track after Thanksgiving. Please forgive my voice, COVID affected here. So, anyways, hope you had a great Thanksgiving. But now it's time to get back on track before the holidays start hitting. And the main way to do that is to start small, right? For a lot of people, they want to get back around track 100%. You don't need to. You just need to show up, And I wanted to make this today specifically sounding crazy, not feeling 100%, just to show you that showing up sometimes can be the smallest little thing. It doesn't have to be this huge thing where you get back on track perfectly. It's just anything that gets you somewhat back on track. It might be drinking water, going for a walk, eating some fruit, anything small. Doesn't have to be anything huge. But what it does is starts to send your brain a signal, I'm back on track, right? And then it's easier. It starts that first step gets going. And once you do the first step, the rest of them become easier. So again, it's all about, small little steps that make it easier for you. So I hope this helps you kind of get yourself back on track. Um, anyways, if anyone's getting questions, I'm feeling crazy. I've been having COVID here for, oh man, Thursday, fifth day of it. And this is my first day working. I've been like 4 days straight of sleeping. So I'm kind of hopping right back in here, but yeah, it kind of feels good. Oh, you got the same here. All right. Yeah. Jeez, right? I haven't had it. I've never had it, which is kind of weird. Because my kids have had it, my wife's had it a number of times. And thanks, Astrid. And I have not. I don't need this in my head. I'm not gonna not the podcast it usually is today, but at least I'm hopped on. Oh, but yeah. So even talking, I haven't even been talking really in 2, 3 days, which is kind of funny for me. Letting my voice relax. What's up, Jody? I saw your things yesterday. I'm gonna get to those in a few minutes. But welcome to the program, though. I'm super excited to have working the next year. It's gonna be awesome. Oh yeah. But over had a nice Thanksgiving. Yeah, I haven't been. Geez, it's been like a little time warp. What's even funnier is I didn't even know I had it until yesterday, which sounds so silly, right? It's just I didn't even think it. I knew Thanksgiving I didn't feel right, and just didn't even think about it. Um, yeah, Shireen, I saw your email today too. It was so awesome. Great job, great job. I love it. They're just some of my favorite. I'm gonna take a little screenshot of that because I love two of my favorite testimonials last week here is you, um, who has been doing great during Thanksgiving, and then I had another client who had gone on a cruise and lost weight on a cruise. That was crazy and enjoyed herself. Okay, that's the key thing. Yeah, Astra, we'll talk about that. I'm looking forward to talking to you tomorrow, Astra. I've been thinking about you and how things have been going. Oh, my voice sounded crazy. Of course, I knew it too. I knew it last week. I was like, it was almost the last day of work, and I was like, I should record. I was going to record a couple sessions for the first 5 pounds program. And I'm like, I'll do it next Monday. And now listen to this voice. So, Jody said, minimize the damage. It was so helpful. Yeah, isn't that that's a great strategy, right? That's such an important strategy. That's what I wanted to get into today. I'll talk about it tomorrow more on the podcast. But so when you go into, I always call it like vacation or holiday mode, where because we need to have. Here's when people think about weight loss. They're in that one mode. This thing's up high. Everything's screwed up. I haven't been working. Got COVID. I am blurry. There I am. Oh boy, that's not right. I live stream this to YouTube. Anyways, yeah, minimize the damages when you have holiday or vacation mode. It's we call it minimize the damage mode because what do when you go on vacation or holidays? You don't want to be eating perfect, right? You're not gonna be following this perfect diet. It's silly. And most people just have all or nothing. And so we need to have some gray areas in there and minimize the damages is really, really helpful. So like an owl. That's funny. I know. It's so funny. I have not really talked in 2 days and I just been sleeping. Yeah, I got COVID. I'm on the tail end of it because I've had it since Thursday. And yeah, I feel okay. Like I don't feel that bad. I have felt bad. I felt terrible. It was very weird. Like I said, this is the first time I've had it, and I knew I wasn't, oh, I was so say who. Oh, I get it. Oh, I see. That's it. I got you, Emily. You got me right in a moment of weakness because I'm like, I'm hearing my voice and I'm freaking out. I'll tell you what, one of the worst things for me is when my voice sounds like this. I can coach fine, that part's fine, but I can't record any programs. Uh, I've done that before where I've recorded programs of mine when I had like a stuffy nose, and I can't stand it. That's funny. That's a good joke. I like that. Was I sick on Thanksgiving? I was sick on Thanksgiving, but just a little bit, just a little bit. And Thanksgiving night, I was like, I do not feel good. And anyways, it was I knew I wasn't feeling right. But it was weird. That's why I was saying it was weird about COVID for me anyways, is it was like it didn't feel like I felt like I was sore, like I had a fever, but I didn't really have a fever. And then my head felt real fuzzy. And I was like, this is weird. I've never felt this way before. I don't know why I didn't put two and two together with COVID. I was just like, I just don't feel right. And then I kind of just like the next couple of days, I didn't feel right, but I was still doing stuff, a little bit, taking it easy. And then I took the test yesterday. I don't know why I didn't take it earlier. But anyways, uh, so yeah. No, I had a great Thanksgiving. I had a lot of fun. But I wasn't 100%, but yeah. I know I didn't feel right. Yeah, my voice. I think it's gonna come back quick though. Like I don't know, like it's just weird. But anyways, yeah, minimize the damage mode. Let's talk about that for a second because um and because I got one to follow up on that. So when you go into vacation mode, holiday mode, to be minimize the damage, I think is a wonderful way to do it, right? Because you're gonna enjoy yourself, but you're not gonna go too crazy with it. And I think that's the sweet spot because that speaks directly to people with the what the hell effect, where usually when people on a diet get off of it a little bit, they go way off of it. And so we don't want to do that. And so we're looking to just at least stay somewhere in the ballpark of on our plan. And then this week, and this was from a client of mine, he called it re-entry week. And this was where you really kind of get back on track, but it doesn't have to be perfect again. You know what I mean? So we're really kind of playing with this all or nothing idea. We want to stay out of there. We want to stay in the all or something ranges. And one way with that, with reentry, is to do small things to get yourself back on track. It doesn't have to be big things. That's why I was kind of joking. Like this to me was my reentry because I'm like, I don't want to take a whole day off of work because then it just feels like a bigger thing. You know what I mean? So it's like I'll just hop on here for a few minutes, just see how people are doing. Just hear my voice, hear where that's at, which it's worse than I was expecting. But anyways, so yeah, reentry week is about starting small things. So I don't know where you're all at now, but again, because what's the alternative? The alternative for a lot of people will be okay, well, Halloween, eating candy all month up until Thanksgiving. Now Thanksgiving's here. Oh, okay. I ate and drank and all weekend, and now okay, and now you're tired and depleted and exhausted, and now it's like that'll go. Now this week's gone, and now 3 weeks till Christmas. I'll wait till January. That's what you got to get out of the mindset of because it's all those little weeks. It's those little times that start adding up. You know, and so don't get way off track because then if you do, you say, "Oh, wait till January." Okay, well now you got 3 months of shit eating behind you, 2 months of shit eating behind you. And now it's hard. January 1st comes. January 1st isn't a magical day. Now you know what I mean. You've got that history behind you, so it's a lot easier and been kind of like not 100% on, but you're still in the game the month of December, and then January 1st comes, it's easier to get back on track. Then you haven't been thinking about it at all. You know what I mean? And now it's 6 straight weeks of eating like shit. And now you magically think you're back on track, right? That's a lot harder. So again, we're trying to look at the bigger picture here. So that's the goal. But I'm glad that helped you go all out with the minimize the damage. And yeah, I'm gonna check your if you're still here, Jody, I'm gonna check out your support tickets there and get those fixed up. What? Yeah, but I hope everyone had a nice holiday. I don't know if it's hard getting back on track. Here's to Monday. It would have been hard anyways. I feel like it was a nice weekend. It was a nice weekend because all I did was sleep. That was but let me talk about that for a second because I find this to be very, very helpful. I'll share this with you. I use this all the time. It's always serves me well. There's a technique called utilization. This was Milton Erickson was a famous hypnotist. And he would use utilization. So no matter what happened, he would find a way to make it work for him. And so for me, COVID, and I felt sick. Like I didn't just get COVID. I've seen some people get COVID and they're fine. I got COVID and I felt sick. So what I've been doing is it was nice. I just shut because because I was like, I might work a little bit on Friday, I might work a little bit this weekend. Nope, completely shut down, and that was wonderful. So just taking all that time off was really nice. And then though, on the flip side, when I wasn't feeling great, I was associating a lot of the not feeling great. Now, this is before I knew it was COVID, I will say, but I knew I was sick regardless. And even though I know it's COVID, I still will attach some of that to the fact that I was eating kind of shitty. The last like 2 weeks, my eating hasn't been great. Um, uh, and I know where I got COVID. I got COVID. I went, my kids were in a play, Annie, and it was awesome. But we saw him 3 times, and I know that that's where I got it from. And my father-in-law's got it. Everyone's sick. 'Cause we were sitting in this theater with all these people. That's where I got it from. And anyways, for that, I remember I made cookies, right? So we do like, I don't know, I don't know if you know this. Your kids and this stuff, you got to make money for them, right? And so one of the ways you help make money for them, amongst a lot of ways, is you bake cookies and then they sell them at the show. And so anyway, so I was eating cookies, and I normally like, I don't know. Anyway, so I'd be eating more cookies. I drink a little more wine. We're eating lots of pizzas. Not great eating last couple of weeks. Not horrible, but just not my normal. And so in my mind, I associate that with not feeling well. So take it for what it's worth. I've done this for a long time. As a hypnotist, I'm allowed to stick whatever I want together. And so I'm eating more cookies, more sugar than I typically do. And so I'll attach that to not feeling good. I don't think that's what gave me COVID, but I don't think it helped me fight it off either. Again, I'm saying this as someone who, my daughter's had COVID a number. I've been around COVID a number of times. I haven't gotten sick. So I'm a big believer that a lot of times, like if I get sick, it's usually there's something I can point to. And this is another case of that. And so I will attach the two things together. Can you please talk about losing weight and losing hair? Uh, I can in the sense that I don't know if they're necessarily related. I mean, if we're talking about losing weight to the point where you're really severely underweight, then yeah, I mean, that happens. It's more of a nourishment thing, nutrient thing, than anything else. So I'm going to assume you're underweight. You know what I mean? Maybe if that's starting to happen, but let me know if that's the case. What's your advice on moving forward with your fitness journey when you're losing slowly, messing with the head? Yeah. Okay. Riverwoods. My advice to you is that who gives a shit how slow it is? Who cares? Okay. Because, and this is my spiel all the time, is that you've got to shift your goal from wanting to lose weight to wanting to live at your goal weight forever. Okay. You've got to make that shift. If all you care about is losing weight, then it just becomes this temporary goal. It really does, because in the back of your mind, say, okay, I'm gonna work out, I'm gonna eat well until I lose the weight. But how long are you gonna keep it off for? Forever, right? So who cares if it comes off slowly? Really? And if when it does come off slowly, when you do hit plateaus, it's an opportunity to practice your maintenance. Because at some point you hit a weight where you stop losing weight. That's it. You just live there. So you better figure out what's going to keep you motivated in that situation. You know? I know what I'm saying. Like I know like wanting to have a different reality for yourself is motivating. I understand that. But the other piece of it is understanding that how you're going to lose this weight, you need to figure out a way that does it. Let me frame it a different way. I'm at the same way for 30 years. So how do I stay motivated? Right? I mean, how do you stay motivated there? And a lot of us, oh, well, once you're thin, you just be motivated. Well, that's not the truth, because 82, 95% of people put the weight back on. So just being at the weight is not motivation enough. It's not. What you also have to do is you have to figure out the way that I'm going to get to the weight and stay at the weight has to be something that resonates with me, that there's other benefits to, other than just being at a weight. So for me, and I'm reminded of it now, again, I don't mind. I like being sick sometimes because it makes me appreciate. It's kind of like the idea that, you don't know what you got until it's gone. And so it's nice for me to feel so shitty, so that as I start to heal up, I'll start to appreciate how good I actually feel, you know? And so that's what I say to you is, if you're on your fitness journey, there better be other benefits to it other than just the weight loss, your energy, your moods, how you feel about yourself, how you think about yourself, your routines, things like this. And so you focus on those when the weights get a little stagnant. So weight is always, the weight loss is always inconsistent and unpredictable in the short term. This is why just focusing on the weight and the scale is such a shitty motivator, because it's just inconsistent and unpredictable. You don't know. You said every single weight study they do, where they put people in metabolic chambers. Why do I keep saying that? Metabolic labs, where they're tracking every calorie in and calorie out. it's, the people lose weight at different rates, you know? So, again, you may be someone who loses weight slowly. You may be losing the weight, and all of a sudden your body just needs to adjust, and you're doing everything fine. It just needs a little bit of adjustment, then it'll start losing again, you know? But you've got to take into account both sides. There's the weight loss piece, and there's how you're doing it. And when the loss plateaus a little bit, you want to go to the process you're using and optimize it. Make it easier, make it more fun, make it more enjoyable for yourself. So, maybe some of the suggestions. I admire your passion of helping people live a better life with a healthy body. I love you. Thank you. Thank you, Owen. I appreciate that. Um, yeah, I know. I do have a passion for it because, yeah, for me, especially now, like Jesus, it's like that's what I'm saying. Like I feel so shitty in subtle ways. Do you know what I mean? Like I don't know. And I was thinking that too, like, it's not even just being me being sick right now. I've been eating shittier the last, like, a week, really, like, last week. I mean, I gonna say it's, like, 2 weeks, but because I don't like to it doesn't matter. But the eating's been a little shittier, and I'm like, "God, I feel like shit." Like, just more cookies, more butter, more heavier stuff, all the rest of it. I'm like, "God, this feels gross." Like, I don't like feeling this before being sick, you know what I mean? But it's like, I try to tell this to you all. You don't realize you habituate to feeling shitty. Do you know what I mean? Like when you start, it doesn't take long. It doesn't take many days of eating cookies. You start eating some more cookies, you start feeling like shit, and you start to normalize to it, and you feel like shit. And the only better feeling you get is when you eat the cookie. You know what I mean? So it's like getting yourself out of that mindset and out of that feeling cycle is I'm very passionate about it for people because there's a quality of life that's so much better for you, you know? And you almost don't realize it. I was metaphorically, the way I was explaining it is this, that the weight, like, it's painful. You don't like being overweight, you know that. But you experience the weight like it's a heavy backpack full of bricks. You know what I mean? So it's like you're sledging through, you're like, "Oh, I hate this weight." But it's chronic. You know what I mean? You're used to it. What you need to do a lot of times is you need to sharpen up that pain like the point of a knife so it feels acute. If you could poke with a knife, you're gonna respond, you're gonna fix it, you know? But when you get this heaviness, you just kind of like just kind of resign yourself to it. You know, that's how life is. That's how I feel. That's me. It's not. You can feel a million times better very, very fast. Like you can't lose the weight in a week, but you can feel exponentially better in a week if you make healthier choices, you know? And you know, yeah, you can reflect on yourself when you're sick. I agree, Astrid. I definitely have been reflecting on myself and I've associated that's what I'm trying to say. Like, so some of the symptoms I had, my throat would hurt here and there. I felt sore. I was definitely tired and my head felt weird, real weird. But it was a sore throat was a big part of it. I said, on my mind, I'm like, that's the sugar. That's the sugar. Now it wasn't the sugar. Okay, I'm gonna be clear. It was the COVID, but sugar didn't help it. And I'm gonna link them together. That's what I will do. And I've been doing this forever. And I will do it again. And I will do it again and again and again. But I can tell you, like I didn't really like sugar too much to begin with. And now it's like I like it even less because I've linked it to this feeling and this voice and all the rest of it. But I think that's a good thing to do, because I think we live in a society that's always doing the opposite, right? It's always minimizing the effects of these foods have on us. And yeah, it's like life or death. Like it's weird for me. It's little things like waking up in the morning and not getting up, like because I'm tired and exhausted, you know? And it reminds me of how I used to feel all the time. It's not the weight. I love being the weight I'm at. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. But what I'm saying to you all is that you need to find deeper motivation, I believe. The weight in of itself is not enough motivation. And if you don't believe me, how can you not believe me? So, you know, what do you find? What's more motivating? Well, what's more motivating is just your life, you know? I'm in a weird headspace. I've had COVID and then I've been watching documentaries for the last 5 hours. I was just laying around there. I know you believe me, Jody. Jody, you're seeing this all the time too, right? So, geez, I have extra sensitivity for you and what you're doing because I don't know, being around this, you see it all the time. Yeah, I'm watching these documentaries. They're just crazy. I don't even know why I watch documentaries. They're interesting, but sometimes they're kind of depressing. Maybe it's the ones I'm watching. But anyways, well, I was watching one. It was called Sunshine Motel or Hotel. But anyways, it was about, kind of like this, they call them flop houses, but it was in the early 2000s down in New York City. But anyways, you see people, they're drug addictions, substance addictions, and it's always this, I'm gonna get myself together. I'm gonna get myself out of here. I'm gonna take care of this. I'm gonna get control of this. And you notice that, right? It's always the I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it, you know? And it's the never doing it. People been in these places for 14, 15, 20 years, but it's everything reminds me of weight, but it's like reminds me of the weight, So you say, oh yeah. I mean, years has been, you say, oh, I gotta get this weight under control. I get my health under control. I got to do this. Got to do it. It's 10 years later, 20 years later. But it's serious stuff, right? It's serious. I feel that now. Like it's crazy. Like I feel so shitty compared to how I normally feel, which makes me crave to want to get back. Like this will help me clean up my lifestyle more. Do you know what I mean though? Like I don't mind these because to me it's like sometimes I need a smacking because it's for me. And tell me this isn't true for you to some degree. It's like a Halloween candy, right? Kind of lingered, right? Next thing you know, it's like oh, spontaneous come on, making cookies and the pizzas and just eating the shit, and I don't feel as good as I normally do, and so I don't mind getting smacked down with feeling sick, and I will use this as an opportunity to clean up my eating even more. So again, it's utilization. So this goes back to the deeper things. Those of you in the program, um, wow, look at this. This is awesome. That makes me happy. I'm going to take a screenshot of that one. I'll let you know you helped me so much. I've lost down to 45 kilograms 2 years ago and maintained. Thank you. You're so awesome. That's so great. Wow, what an accomplishment. That's quite an accomplishment. The two accomplishments, first of all, 45 kilograms is a tremendous amount of weight, but the biggest accomplishment is 2 years ago and maintaining it. And that's what I'm always talking about. See, folks, get on the living at your goal weight, not losing the weight, right? But getting to the goal weight is the starting line, not the finish line. That's what I'm trying to say, you know? Um, yeah, just because we can doesn't mean we always should. That's the truth. So, but so in the program, a lot of times we'll talk about like, okay, yeah, sounds got quiet. I'll get that in 1 second. In the program, one of the things we talk about, and this is a foundational core concept, is that mistakes are your greatest teachers. And I mean this as much as anything else in the program. I truly mean this because when it comes to weight loss, what most people do is they want to start day one being perfect, right? You're going to start day one being perfect with whatever your plan is. And you're going to ride that perfection out until you've lost the weight, right? Until you reach your goal weight. And it's this idea that it's perfection, that's what is going to get me to where I want to go. And I am 100% the opposite. I think we're going to start with your mistakes. Okay. And you're making a lot of them probably, right? If you're struggling with your weight, you're making lots of mistakes. So let's instead of imagining you're going to be perfect tomorrow, let's instead have a strategy, a technique and a process you can use to learn from your mistakes. Because there's one thing I know about you and me, we're gonna make lots of mistakes, right? So let's anticipate the path we're gonna walk to get to our goal weight is gonna be one that's gonna be littered with lots and lots of mistakes. And let's have a strategy to deal with those mistakes and learn and grow from them. Instead of imagining fantasy land, here we go, that I'm gonna wake up tomorrow because it's Monday and I'm just gonna be perfect. No more mistakes. I'm not gonna make any more mistakes starting tomorrow. And that's the plan. And that's what I think most dieters are doing in their head. That's what they think, and so instead, we have the program self-thin technique where it's there to learn from the mistakes we make. And there's a lot of ways to learn from mistakes because there's kind of little mistakes, chronic mistakes we keep making and all the rest of it. But ultimately it's learning that. Hassan says, how can I get rid of the last 4 pounds? They're nasty. Yeah, the last 4 pounds. I mean, typically it gets harder to lose the weight the closer you get to the goal weight, for a number of reasons. The least of them, may be that I think a lot of people are nervous getting to their goal weight because I think most people, if you know what to say, you've got your overweight mindset, which is your normal mindset, right? You think of yourself as an overweight person, even if it's 4 pounds, and that's your normal, natural mindset. So if you're not thinking about food, exercising, losing weight, you're just doing what you're doing. That's your overweight mindset. That's what you naturally do. Then you got your diet mindset. And your diet mindset's like the anti-overweight mindset, where you basically just says, don't do those things, right? So your overweight mindset, oh, let's have some ice cream. No, we can't have ice cream. Let's have some pizza. Can't have pizza. Let's do this. Can't do that. So it's just an anti-mindset. It's not a mindset in of itself. It's just an anti-negative mindset. Don't do this. Don't do this. Don't do this. And so when you try and lose weight, you're always fighting against yourself, right? Because you have your diet mindset trying to fight against your natural, normal, overweight mindset. And so what happens to people in the best case scenario is you diet yourself down to your goal weight, but the problem still exists that you've got an overweight mindset and a diet mindset. You don't know how to think and live as a thin and healthy person. And so what do? Most people, they go back to just being overweight again because that's what they know. And so sometimes I find people that really struggle that last 5 pounds or so, a lot of times they have some intuitive subconscious sense of this that, "Oh, shit, once I reach my goal weight, what am I going to do?" There's a lot of anxiety as people approach their goal weight. You probably don't realize this. I do because I've done over 5,000 private weight loss sessions. I've talked a lot about weight loss with people. And it's very interesting because pretty much everyone's lost weight and then put it back on. And so you say, well, what happened? You lost the weight and then you put it on. What was going on there? And the answer is always some version of them. I didn't feel like myself. And I think this explains that, because you yourself, if you've been struggling with your weight for a long time, you think of yourself as an overweight person. You don't like it, but you know it. You're comfortable with it. And that's how you think of yourself. And so as people get closer to their goal weight, I think there's this anxiety that they're worried they're going to put the weight back on because they don't know how to think, live, and eat like a thin and healthy person. They've never learned it. Where have you learned to think and eat and live like a healthy and thin person? Just because you diet, that's not a thin and healthy person. That's an anti-reaction to being overweight. I mean, that's what Program Yourself Thin is about. Is about learning how to think like a thin and healthy person. That's how I sit in front of you at my goal weight 30 years later, because I spoke to people that were thin and healthy and I learned a lot from them. I would always interview people that had lost weight and kept it off for at least 2 years. Not just what they did, but how they thought. That was the secret for me and my clients. You need more than just knowing what to eat, more than just being able to force yourself to do that for a little while. Ultimately, you've got to learn how to think like a thin, healthy person. So, Hassan, for you, the last 4 pounds, the first thing I would do is I'd check my motivation. Why do you want to lose those 4 pounds? What's going to be different in your life 4 pounds from now? It better be a good reason if it's hard for you. All right. There's probably a lot more to it. I wish I knew your whole story because I could give you more advice. I was going good all weekend and then I ate like a monster today. Yeah, that's all right. That happens all the time, it's just normal and natural. Our eating's all over the place. Again, that's what I'm saying. Like with the diet mindset, it's this idea, well, okay, tomorrow's Monday, so I'm gonna start eating perfect. You're never gonna eat perfect. It's what people always shocked. Always shocked. I sit in front of you as someone who's been at the same weight for 30 years. I dropped 50 pounds, same weight for 30 years, one blip. I think about my eating and my weight. It's like surfing, right? Like the waves are always changing. You know what I mean? So you can't, it's not a train track. Like it's just not this straight train track where you're just going forward and it's just this thing. You're always having to adjust to the environment, life, reality, your moods, your health, your energy, your mindset, all these things. So this idea that you just get to like, oh, here's my eating plan. This is what I'm going to do. It just takes, it's like my wife got a degree in engineering. And when they would do like engineering problems, they would just take gravity out of the equation just so they could learn how to do the equations, right? But that's a pretty big piece of the equation in reality. But when it comes to weight loss, people are just like, oh, give me the meal plan. Well, what about life? Yeah, you know what I mean? What about, oh, last week's Thanksgiving? Do you think that might have any impact on how you eat? You know what I mean? Like moving forward, there's so many different factors that are kind of impacting it. You're never going to eat like this. You're not going to start your diet on Monday and then just eat the same for the next 6 months. Like what? You're not a robot. So Ezra, it's completely normal and natural. It's fine. This is what I'm saying. It's not about this goddamn expectation you're going to be perfect and then being disappointed and frustrated with yourself when you're not is asinine. It's because it's not, I don't know. It's like You don't do this with anything else hardly, right? You never play the piano. You sit down at the piano to learn. You make mistakes. You expect it, right? You never played basketball. I don't want to play basketball. Oh, you suck at it. Okay, that's what I expected. But then it comes to weight loss, and it's like, I'm going to start today, day one, perfect. You make a mistake. You're like, what happened? Why am I such a bad person? You know what I mean? Like, well, because you're not good at it yet. You got to practice it. So no big deal, Azra. Good job. You did good all weekend. I'd trade 2 good days for 1 bad day. So good job. Then learn from it. And plus, then start to notice the pattern. Sometimes when we eat really well, I don't know what that means. For some people, eat really well is like super restricting. And it's, I ate really well. I ate really good. And then I ate everything. Well, what was eating really well? I ate 1,000 calories. It was perfect. Okay. Was it perfect? Because it sets you up to eat like crazy. You know what I mean? So we need to zoom out on our life and see bigger pictures. We can't just look into the moment, because a lot of times where the problem shows up is not where the problem was created. The classic example I see is people say, oh, everything's going great until afternoon and night. And then the wheels come off the bus. I'm eating everything. Well, what are you eating for breakfast and lunch? Nothing. Well, what do you want to eat for afternoon and dinner? Nothing. Well, that's a stupid plan, and it's not going to work. They're not using your brains, right? So the problem isn't that you can't stop yourself from eating in the afternoon and night. The problem is you're not eating anything at breakfast and lunch that's nourishing you and managing your hunger so you can eat well for the rest of the day, But if we just zoom in and say, oh, there's the problem. You can't do it. You got to take a step back and look at the bigger picture. Hope that helps, Nazra. Yeah. Did semaglutide for 6 months. It did nothing for me. You're not alone. You're not alone, Yaya. Okay. I just let you know that, again, how much money's behind that shit, and I'm not here to talk negative about stuff, because if people are doing it, I support them. There's people in my program that are on that. They're doing the program so they can learn how to manage their mindset while they're doing it. I think that's a smart approach. But yeah, the semaglutide, the best case scenario for the semaglutides is that you feel nauseous. And so you feel nauseous, you don't feel hungry. So again, someone put it best. I heard a doctor explain it best. They said the semaglutides are like you're in quicksand sinking and someone throws you a shovel. So you know what I mean? Doesn't fix the problem, but it makes it, you can manage it a little better. You're in a boat with a hole in it, but now someone throws you a bucket so you can shovel some of the water out. It's not a real fix. Ultimately, there's only one real fix, folks. One fix and one fix only. And yeah, I mean it. There's only one fix to your weight issue. It's you got to fix your mindset, right? We know this. Shit. We've seen people get their stomachs made this big and they're still putting weight on. You know what I mean? Like, there is no magic cure. There's one cure and one cure only. It's getting your mind right. And